Ever wondered why some touches just hit differently? You're not alone. A lot of guys think they've got it figured out, but here's the thing. Women love when you pay attention to the subtle spots. I'm talking about areas that don't always get the spotlight, but when you touch them right, it's game on. We asked women what they want, and the answers were surprisingly fascinating. Spoiler, it's all about how you touch, not just where. So if you're ready to step up your game and learn the psychology behind these intimate touches, stay tuned. Ready to get hands-on with some knowledge? Let's dive in. 1. Caressing the side of her breasts. First up, let's talk about an area that often gets overshadowed, the sides of her breasts. Now, before you rush in, hear me out. This isn't about going straight for the center. In fact, lightly caressing the outer sides of her breasts can be incredibly arousing, in a way that's much more subtle than you might think. Why? It's all about anticipation. Think of it as setting the stage for what's to come. Lightly brushing your fingers along this area creates a sense of intimacy that's not overly direct but undeniably sensual. The outer sides are packed with nerve endings, but because they're not typically the center of attention, a gentle caress here can be a pleasant surprise. Start with slow, deliberate movements, paying attention to her body language. If she leans in or responds with a slight shiver, you know you're on the right track. It's the kind of touch that shows you're not in a rush. You're focused on making the moment last, and that's where the magic happens. In the end, the subtlety of this move can be even more arousing than going straight for the more obvious areas. 2. Lightly grazing her inner thighs. Let's talk about one of the most sensitive and overlooked areas, her inner thighs. This spot is pure gold for building anticipation and arousal, but the key is to keep it light and teasing. Why does this work? Well, the inner thighs are incredibly sensitive, packed with nerve endings that respond to the slightest touch. But here's the kicker. It's all about proximity. You're close to more intimate areas without actually touching them. This creates a slow burn effect that's both thrilling and tantalizing. Imagine this. You're sitting next to her, and instead of rushing to the finish line, you lightly run your fingertips along her inner thigh. The goal isn't to go straight for the target, but to keep her guessing. It's the buildup that makes the eventual touch even more electrifying. By focusing on the inner thighs, you're setting the stage, creating a sense of longing without overwhelming her with direct contact. Keep your movements slow, almost as if you're barely making contact, and watch how her body responds. It's the kind of touch that leaves her wanting more, which is exactly where you want to be. 3. Running fingers along her neck. The neck. There's something undeniably sensual about this spot. Running your fingers along her neck, especially the back, can stir up deep feelings of intimacy and even desire. But here's the thing. It's not just the physical touch that makes this move so powerful. It's the psychology behind it. The neck is a vulnerable area, and when you touch it gently, it communicates trust and closeness. Picture this. You're standing behind her, maybe even after a night out, and you slowly run your fingers down the nape of her neck. Keep it soft, barely applying pressure, as if you're tracing the outline of her hairline. This isn't the time for anything rough or aggressive. A light, tender touch is what will make her melt into you. And don't forget to watch her reactions. The way she leans into your touch, maybe closes her eyes, or lets out a soft sigh, will tell you everything you need to know. When combined with eye contact or a soft kiss on her neck, this touch can instantly elevate the moment from casual to deeply intimate. Don't underestimate the power of the neck. It's a gateway to deeper connection. 4. Tracing her panty line. This one's all about anticipation. Tracing along the edge of her panties isn't just about touch, it's about teasing. It's a move that walks the line between playful and intimate, giving her a hint of what's to come without going too far, too fast. The key here is subtlety. Lightly running your fingers along the fabric of her underwear, right at the edge, sends a message that's both sensual and suggestive. You're close, but you're holding back, and that's what makes it so powerful. Imagine you're sitting together, maybe after a night out or a cozy evening at home. Your hand gently rests on her hips, and without rushing, you begin to trace the outline of her panty line with just the tip of your finger. You're not pushing boundaries here. You're creating them, making her aware of every inch of her body without overwhelming her. It's about control, both yours and hers. She feels the closeness, the potential of what's next, and that anticipation heightens everything. Done right, this small gesture can feel like a promise, leaving her wanting more, but loving the slow buildup. This move is less about immediate pleasure and more about the journey, so take your time and let the tension grow. If today's insights resonate with you, remember to like and comment. More importantly, if you're ready to revolutionize your dating approach, take advantage of our free 60-minute strategy call. It's your gateway to meeting more women and enhancing your confidence. Book yours now through the pinned comment. 5. Kissing along her collarbone. Now, if you've been ignoring her collarbone, you're missing out on some serious sensual potential. The collarbone is often one of the most sensitive yet overlooked areas on a woman's body. It's not just the touch that counts here. It's the intimacy of the moment. Kissing along her collarbone isn't about rushing in for a passionate kiss. It's about savoring the moment, slowly working your way from one side to the other, letting her feel every second of it. Imagine this. You're close, maybe after a long embrace, and you lower your head to kiss her collarbone. Start with soft, gentle kisses right at the edge where her neck meets her shoulder. The skin here is delicate, so keep your touch light and deliberate. As you work your way across her collarbone, you'll notice how her breathing changes, how her body might lean into yours, silently asking for more. It's a move that says, "I'm taking my time, and I want you to feel every moment." It's not about speed or pressure, it's about connection. The collarbone is a place that's easy to overlook, but gives a surprising amount of pleasure when treated with care. So, next time you're close, don't forget to explore this tender spot. 6. Tracing her hip line, her hips. They're more than just a visual focal point. They're a roadmap to deeper intimacy. Tracing your fingers along her hip line, especially just above the waist, can be incredibly arousing if done right. This area is particularly sensitive because of the curves and the skin's natural sensitivity. Plus, let's face it, hips are all about movement, connection, and rhythm, which makes them a natural spot for touch when you want to build desire. Here's the trick. You don't need to be direct. A light, teasing touch along her hip line, where her waist curves into her hips, is enough to send shivers down her spine. Imagine you're standing behind her, hands resting lightly on her hips. Instead of pulling her in, start by slowly tracing your fingertips along the curve of her hips, following the natural lines of her body. Keep it slow and soft. It's the kind of touch that makes her feel both secure and desired. By lingering here, you're drawing attention to her curves in a way that's deeply intimate. Her hips are a powerful erogenous zone, and when you give them this kind of attention, it can spark a connection that feels both physical and emotional. 7. Grazing her abdomen. Her lower stomach might not seem like an obvious choice for touch, but trust me, it's a hidden gem when it comes to building arousal. Grazing her abdomen softly, especially just below the belly button, can create a slow, steady buildup of anticipation. Why? Because the area is sensitive, but it's also a bit unexpected. It's close to more intimate areas without crossing the line, making it perfect for teasing and heightening her desire. Picture this. You're lying together, maybe after a long day, and your hand rests on her stomach. Instead of going for the usual spots, try gently running your fingers across her abdomen, just lightly enough to tease. It's not about pressure. It's about the sensation of your touch, barely skimming her skin. This kind of touch plays with her senses, making her more aware of every move you make. As you graze her lower stomach, you're creating a sense of buildup, leaving her wondering what's next. This area might seem subtle, but when given attention, it can be incredibly powerful in creating a slow burn effect. Plus, it shows you're in no rush, which only adds to the anticipation. 8. Tracing her jawline with your fingers. Her jawline is often overlooked, but it's one of those places that can turn an ordinary moment into something much more intense. Tracing her jawline with your fingers is all about creating intimacy without being overly direct. It's subtle, but the message is clear. You're paying attention to the small details, the parts of her that often go unnoticed. This light touch can send a shiver down her spine, especially when combined with strong eye contact. Imagine you're close, maybe after a soft kiss, and instead of pulling away, you let your fingers trace the edge of her jawline. The key here is to keep the touch soft, almost as if you're barely making contact with her skin. Move slowly, following the natural curve of her jaw, and watch how she responds. This kind of touch isn't about going for instant gratification. It's about creating a deeper connection, making her feel seen and desired in a more intimate way. When combined with a lingering gaze or a whisper, tracing her jawline can build incredible sexual tension, turning even a quiet moment into something unforgettable. 9. Kissing the nape of her neck. The nape of her neck is a classic erogenous zone, and for good reason. There's something undeniably sensual about this area, and when kissed softly, it can create an instant surge of intimacy. The skin at the nape of the neck is delicate and sensitive, making it the perfect spot for light, lingering kisses. But this isn't about rushing in. It's about taking your time to savor every second of contact. Picture this. You're standing behind her, maybe wrapping your arms around her waist, and you lean in to place a soft kiss on the nape of her neck. The key here is to go slow. Start with a light kiss, then maybe a few more, letting her feel the warmth of your breath against her skin. As you continue, mix in soft whispers or gentle touches along her shoulders to keep her guessing. The nape of the neck is one of those places that can create a sense of vulnerability and closeness, making her feel connected to you in a deeper way. It's a simple move, but when done right, it can lead to some seriously electric moments. 10. Kissing along her waistline. Now, if you want to talk about slow-building anticipation, kissing along her waistline is a move that never fails. This area is incredibly sensitive, and the fact that it's close to more intimate spots only adds to the tension. Soft kisses along her waist, especially near her hips, can create a sense of excitement and desire without being too direct. It's all about the tease here. Imagine you're lying beside her, and instead of going for the usual areas, you lower your head to her waistline. Start with gentle kisses along her hip bones, letting your lips barely touch her skin. Move slowly, savoring each kiss as you work your way along her waistline. The beauty of this move is in its subtlety. You're close to more intimate areas, but you're not rushing. It's all about letting her feel the buildup, creating a sense of anticipation that leaves her wanting more. Combine this with light touches or even a soft whisper, and you'll create a moment that's both sensual and deeply intimate. So now that you know where she desires to be touched, what's next for you? Discover why generous and reliable men are often left single, or learn what she reveals when you're important to her. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.